la mia vecchia cucina. Arduino Magia Lopez al basso. viaggiando nel buio. Ora la strada si fa scura nella notte. Io sto tranquillo, aspetto il turno nella notte. È qualcosa che mi possa far sperare. Metto la fiamma per poter continuare. Ci penso adesso che sono solo. Viaggiando nel buio.
Nella vita non c'è un verso da seguire, perché pure se ti impegni non riesci a capire i come, quando e forse se. Le 100 più domande che vorrei farti, che non parli, accendi un'altra sigaretta mentre io placidamente attendo senza fretta e spesso la mano non l'ho presa al tuo universo. Mi sono chiuso a me stesso, confesso, ed è così che ti ho permesso di giocare, velare, lasciandomi aspettare l'occasione o l'illusione che domani sia migliore di questo. Ma ormai ho scoperto il contesto, il futuro non lo creo con un gesto né con rimorso di quello che ho perso, ma con la speranza, yeah, di un mondo diverso.
Ma chiamano in piedi, si sa nemmeno cosa. Ma chi di noi ha veramente la sua meta? Pensarci adesso che siamo soli. Viaggiando nel buio.
Ragazzi, are you ready for the next episode of Dermoscopy Happy Hour? See you soon. Hello, Emilio.
Hello, Jeppy.
Welcome to the Dermoscopy Excellence
Digital training.
Let's start from the clinical.
Are you ready for the scalp? Some data highlighting a significantly worse survival for acral melanoma.
Here, again, you make the diagnosis because of the arborizing vessels, sharply in focus.
So, this is our destiny, my friends.
If someone is connecting right now,
Yes.
then they are saying, okay, let's stop seeing this stupid course.
But then, if you look at the tables and you see the reason why.
Melanoma on the face is a lazy guy.
Morphologically, dermatoscopically.
Bravo, my president. Eh? Wow, 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 wow. Ragazzi, are you okay? Everything okay? Costantino, where are you? He's in a train or in an airport. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Emilio is still missing. I don't see Emilio, but in the meanwhile, I have to say hello to everybody from Poland, Germany, Romania. How many others? Of course, there are many others, but I don't see the usual list of beautiful countries. Emilio, buongiorno.
Did you miss me?
Yes, I missed you, but
We
just for
miss you.
ciao, Nisa. How are you?
Hi, JP. Thank you. And you?
Good.
Konstantinos is in the airplane.
Constantino, are you in the airplane?
Yes. Hopefully,
Really?
Yes, I'm in the airplane. I'm taking off in 3 minutes.
hopefully you're not flying at this moment.
Yeah, it could be
Not
nice.
yet, not yet. Taking off in 3 minutes.
Mm,
Wonderful. Have a nice travel, a safe travel, my friend.
very good, very good.
Safe
very
Thank you
travel.
so much. Thank you so much.
Very good. So you see, I came back to Italy from a couple of conferences together with you guys, and I found summertime.
Yeah.
I found basically summertime, and so question of the week.
Before this, a special hello to Somalia. I don't remember if we ever again had somebody attending from Somalia. And among, of course, many other countries as usually, like South
Yeah,
Africa,
they're coming.
Israel.
Yeah, Canada, yeah, Israel, Ukraine, South Africa. Yes. Sebbi, ciao. So, question of the week
Ciao.
question of the week this week is important. Is it dangerous to excise a mole? Guys, this is an important question related to today. You like it, Costantino, eh?
I love it. I love it. I love it. And like, I know that I won't be able to join for the entire time of the course.
Yeah. Let's see the result. Let's see the result of the question of the week, which is no, 68, sometimes 28, and yes, for 4 people. Hai capito. Hai capito. So,
Let me ask you, do you also have this, where is my camera? Do you also have, in Greece at least, there is a particular way that people say this. They don't say it's dangerous to excise a mole. They say that, I'll try to translate. So whatever does not bother you, you should not bother it.
okay.
Mm.
You say don't.
Whatever doesn't hurt you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we say something else. We say don't disturb a sleeping dog, which is the same. Yeah. So we will try to cover this episode, the myths around skin cancer. There are many. Come on, there are really many, and we will be able to cover only a few of them. And among those that we like to cover, definitely there is this one on excising moles is dangerous. So we published this paper a few years ago, Dispelling Myths Concerning Pigmented Skin Lesions.
Did I ever tell you? Sorry, I interrupt you, but of course I told you back then, but probably you don't remember this. And that's a declaration that I do online. This, of all the papers that I have participated in writing, correcting, and so on, this is the one I like most. So if you tell me choose the paper you like most, you enjoy most working on and reading, and then eventually, so I would select this one.
But I didn't remember this. Yeah. So yeah, of course. I like it very much because, I mean, and of course, the point is that behind any myth, there is a kind of reason, logical reason. Yeah. One of the most popular myths is excising nevi is dangerous, as I told you, but there are many others. Traumatizing nevi is dangerous. Acral nevi are more dangerous than other nevi. Protect your nevi against the sun. This is also something very common. never, and these are now more technical, more myths, let's say, for the doctors. Never do partial biopsy for melanoma, nevi transform into melanoma, again, then all the sentinel node biopsy issues, and also the history, history is important. I will give you just a few examples concerning the first myth, which is excising nevi is dangerous. A few years ago, we did a questionnaire, a survey in a popular website in Italy, dedicated to women health, health problems. And we got response from 800 plus women, and there was a questionnaire, and one of the questions was, is it dangerous to excise a mole? And do you know how many responded yes? Nisa, what do you think?
80% maybe, huh? That's too much?
Yes, 80 plus, 80, almost 80, 85% responded yes, it is dangerous. Yeah. So this popular myth is definitely surviving a lot from since many years. But why this myth was, let's say, so popular, and it was coming until today to our ears? It's because of this situation. Let's try to imagine. This is a quite relatively young gentleman. He suffered, unfortunately, because he died, suffered from a very heavy psychological problem, psychiatric problem. So he didn't care about the growing of this melanoma on his back. And now this melanoma is something like 2 centimeter in thickness, 2 centimeter, not 2 millimeter. So 20 millimeter in thickness. So it's a monster. But I mean, now, if we try to realize how many months or years this guy had this melanoma growing on his back, in his back, I would say a few years. I would suggest, I could hypothesize a few years. So then, of course, when we saw him, we organized immediately the excision of this melanoma. We excised it, and in 6 months he died. Okay, in 6 months. Okay, so something was breaking out the balance. What is the problem? The problem is that when melanoma is becoming so thick, the melanoma, it's more and more coming in close vicinity to the vessels, and therefore melanoma cells are starting quite soon to spread everywhere. But in some way, the immune system is controlling the mets. Okay, and at a certain point, we know very well that melanoma, primary melanoma, is an immunogenic tumor. It means that when the primary melanoma is there, it's able to improve the immune response, because it's able to stimulate the immune response. And if you remove it, eventually this stimulation for the immune system is falling down, and then the mets are able to develop and kill the patient. This is another monster of, I don't know, 15 millimeter in thickness. And this, I'm pretty sure that this lesion was developing since a few years. And then when we removed the lesion, then the patient developed metastasis, and she died in a few months. Okay? And now I want to give you an opposite example of a very rare situation which occurred to us a few years ago with this lady. As you can see, this is a very large and almost completely regressing in the center. So it's a big melanoma developing since, I suppose, more than 10 years. more than 10 years, okay? And she was living with this melanoma forever because she didn't want to, she was scared about checking the situation with the doctor. But the daughter of this lady, who is a nurse, by the way, convinced her to come to us. Yeah, and then of course we started to speak and saying, okay, we have to remove it as soon as possible. And then the nurse, the daughter, was asking me a very important question. This was at the time in which we didn't have any adjuvant treatment, nothing. We were at the time of dacarbazine. Okay, so at that time. She told me, but if we remove this lesion, are we sure that we are prolonging the survival of my mother? This was a very difficult question to answer. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't know. I have to be honest with you. I don't know. I have no idea if we are able to prolong her survival or not. And then the daughter decided not to remove this lesion. Okay. Then, of course, we did a TC scan staging, nothing, completely nothing on TC scan, on ultrasound, nothing. And we continued with follow-up. 1 year later, that's the situation. Can you imagine? The lesion is growing, producing nodules, ulcerated nodules, bleeding, and so on. So at this point, since still they didn't want to excise it, we used imiquimod in order to control the situation, at least locally. Yeah. And this is 2 years later. Well, come on. The situation is still just ongoing locally. Again, on TC scan, nothing bad is going on. And that's 3 years later, okay? Still, the disease is going up and down locally, but no spread to the regional lymph nodes and no spread to the of the distant metastasis. Okay, so at that time we convinced the daughter to do at least a debulking of the tumor, so we were able to remove a little bit of this nodule, which was very bleeding, very annoying for the patient. Yeah, and let me tell you, this is the situation 7 years later. So we checked this lady in May 2022. Yeah, and as you can see here, just a small area of residual pigmentation is visible. We prescribed at that time again imiquimod, and let me tell you, I checked with my guys at the clinic. The patient is still alive. Impressive, an impressive case. Of course, I don't want to say anything. You know, I don't want to say that we have to reconsider excising these kind of monsters. For a simple reason, because this is an exceptional case. Very often the situation is going much worse than this, and patient sooner or later will die. But we cannot say we don't excise these monsters for another more important reason, because today we have good treatments. We have good immunotherapy and target therapies to prescribe to our patients. So we have to excise them. But this is the reason why the popular saying, don't touch a mole, was developing. Yeah. And that's it, my guys.
That's fantastic. I mean, of course, I know
Great cases.
I know both of the cases, of course. We discussed them many times, but each time it's again impressive and impressive. Of course, as you said, it's not a frequent scenario. You have just 2 cases. Maybe I have one more. Maybe Nisa, you have one more, and so on. So we have seen this. There is a reasonable explanation behind it. I mean, what you said, that for some reason, the immunologic system is able to find a balance with the tumor, so that the tumor does not disappear, but also does not progress, at least it's a balance. It's a balance.
Even that the primary is there. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then theoretically, if you remove the primary, which means that you remove the antigen that stimulates the system, then the immunologic system stops responding, and then the small metastases that exist anyhow, but they are under control, then they stop being under control. Theory, of course, but reasonable theory. It's not completely crazy. So do you think that this is how this myth was created?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Because let's say 50 years ago, melanoma was removed only when it was a monster, a bleeding nodule, removal, and then the patient died in 6 months. So that's why they say, okay, don't touch a mole. When you see something pigmented on the skin, don't touch it.
Yeah. Of course, part of something else that contributed to the myth was that in some cases, I suppose that it's just a coincidence. I mean, when the tumor becomes growing a lot, then it becomes annoying, then they excise it, and then of course it's already too late, and at some point they discover, so it's also this.
Of course. And we know very well also that when we see these kind of monsters, then when we do the staging, patients often have already clinically visible metastasis, at least instrumentally visible metastasis. So it's, of course, melanoma does what it wants.
Yeah.
We have already some proposals for a quote of the day, such as, if something is not broken, don't fix it. If something is not broken, don't fix it. Do not make more pathology than you resolve. Take out the mole, or risk missing the hidden mole, the melanoma. Yeah. Okay. I get that today we will have many quotes, many candidate quotes.
Of course, melanoma does what he wants. It's also a nice quote. Yeah.
Melanoma does what it wants. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Good.
Emilio, what do you prepared for us?
I did, but by looking at the list of the myths once again, I did not remember that we had included there also the sentinel lymph node issue. Of course, this is not anymore so up-to-date discussion, because the issue was resolved eventually, but back then it was still quite interesting. Yeah, now concerning the sentinel lymph node biopsy, if we want to spend 2 minutes discussing about it, in my view, the new controversy, of course, there is no doubt anymore that lymph node dissection is not performed, doesn't make sense. That's given. The new controversy is about melanoma of stage 2B and 2C, for which theoretically there is an indication for sentinel lymph node biopsy. But today, given that the adjuvant immunotherapy is officially indicated in stages 2B and 2C, then the sentinel lymph node biopsy, the result of the sentinel lymph node biopsy does not change anything at all, because if it's positive or negative, it does not change the treatment, which anyhow the patient will...
Must admit that for the moment, only pembrolizumab, if you don't perform sentinel node biopsy, only pembrolizumab can be prescribed.
And nivolumab, but not... and nivolumab.
Are you sure?
Sure, 100%. But not the BRAF inhibition. This is the difference, that in stage 3 there are 2 therapeutic options, immunotherapy and BRAF/MEK inhibition, while in stage 2B and 2C only anti-PD-1.
But I would say that there is even a more controversial issue, and this is the issue of stage 1B. Because if we perform a sentinel node biopsy and eventually the sentinel node biopsy is positive, then still, I'm not really sure that we should really perform adjuvant treatment, because the balance between efficacy and side effects is very difficult, because you have still the side effects of a heavy treatment, potentially also bringing the patient to die in some cases, while the benefit that the patient can receive in stage 1B is very limited. Therefore, it's
very limited because the prognosis is very good anyhow. That's why the benefit is limited. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so let's spend the next minutes discussing another myth that we like very much, of course. Yeah, maybe this is the one we like most than any. Yes, that nevi may transform into melanoma. Of course, this is not, precisely a myth. And of course, there are many scientists, especially the ones working in the lab, especially pathologists and people dealing with genetics, less clinicians, but that still believe that this is the main way that melanoma develops. That's the main way, and all the other are rare exceptions. So the main way, according to what they believe, is that there is first the formation of a benign nevus, and then this nevus gradually, with the accumulation of mutations, possibly, gradually becomes more atypical or dysplastic, and then eventually it becomes malignant melanoma, and then later on it breaks the junction and invades the dermis. So that's a theory that still for many people is the predominant one, and today it's somehow also supported, this theory, by some genetic studies that have identified, in fact, some added mutations in this pathway. So some mutations that are considered drivers at the beginning, common for benign and malignant lesions. For example, BRAF. We know that BRAF mutation is a driver mutation also for nevi. Many nevi are BRAF mutated. And then we have the accumulation of additional mutations that make the lesion gradually malignant. The point is that this is significantly challenged by the real data, by the data of the real world that all clinicians face, no matter where they work. So this is a study that we have shown hundreds of times in presentations. The study we love by Hensing Chow from the US, in which they tried to calculate the probability of a nevus transforming into a melanoma. Of course, in order to make this calculation, you would need to know the total number of nevi on this planet, because this should be the denominator.
Yeah.
It's not easy to know the total number of nevi on this planet. You can only estimate it. And this is what they did practically. It was just an estimation. Based on this estimation, the probability of a nevus transforming into a melanoma is 1 out of 200,000. And because I think that in this way, we don't understand well the number. We understand well the number if we do the division. If we do it, then the number is 0.00003. So again, this is a number that our brain is not fully able to understand. We can understand 0.3. We can. We can possibly understand 0.03. But after this, I think that it's a number that it's not fully, it's not fully understood. So it's so small that its difference from zero is insignificant. It's practically equal to zero. Then the most important thing of all is the real data, and the real data suggests that melanoma usually develops de novo and not associated with a pre-existing nevus. And this is extremely strong. This is extremely strong to question, because we have the highest level of evidence today suggesting that this is the case. There were some studies that calculated the percentage at the level of 50, some other studies at the level of 60, 70, 80, 90, some. That's why this meta-analysis, which included all the published evidence from all the published studies, was very, very helpful, because we have finally the number which combines all the published evidence, and this number is 71.2% of melanomas develop de novo, which means that in 71% of melanomas, the pathway that I showed you at the beginning is not correct. Therefore, it's not the main pathway, for sure. We could argue
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Of
This
course,
particular point. You remember that we had a session together at the ADO in Paris just a few days ago, and we were together in a session speaking about NIVI, and we were with a pathologist who contributed to this theory that every melanoma is coming from a pre-existing nevus. And he was saying to my question, but why the majority of melanomas are not showing any precursor lesion in the histology? He said, yeah, but they develop from a very tiny nevus that then will eventually disappear. We are not able to find it anymore.
Yeah. Because I mean, because you have to find an answer to support the theory. Otherwise, the theory is completely destroyed. So yeah. Anyhow, the most interesting thing, though, because we knew it. Come on, we knew that most melanomas develop de novo. Come on, it was clear. Now we have also a meta-analysis proving it. The most interesting thing, though, of this meta-analysis was the following: that in this 28% of melanomas that, in fact, develop in a pre-existing nevus, in the majority of them, the underlying nevus is not dysplastic. So even in this small group, again, the pathway is not correct. And this is, I mean, another strong hit against the theory of gradual transformation. This is the most impressive, in my view, finding of this study. So, okay, let's keep this one. Therefore, this is a nice schematic that I like from Riccardo Pambena in a paper that he did reviewing nevus-associated melanoma. What I definitely believe, and I know that you also believe the same, is that the only precursor of melanoma is the melanocyte. And this melanocyte, and this melanocyte that eventually undergoes multiple mutations and becomes malignant is usually not a nevus melanocyte. It's a melanocyte located somewhere on the skin. Usually it's a junctional melanocyte, a melanocyte of the dermoepidermal junction. Sometimes it might be that a melanocyte of the nevus will transform into malignant, and this might happen in the minority of the cases, of course, but this might happen. And this is the case of nevus-associated melanoma that typically develops on non-chronically sun-damaged skin. If we speak about chronically sun-damaged skin, for example, if we speak about lentigo maligna, then nevus-associated melanoma does not exist. Then everything is de novo. Also, if we speak about nodular melanoma, most probably everything is de novo. So that's more or less what we think about this topic. Another very interesting now observation from our daily practice, which is supported also by histological studies, is that the most frequent nevus type on which a melanoma develops is this one. And we have many examples to show. You see here a classic dermal nevus, and then a melanoma developing just very close to the nevus. And at least from a morphologic point of view, I don't see any transformation of the nevus. The nevus is still fine. At least from a morphologic point of view, the nevus is still fine, but the melanoma developed there very close to this dermal nevus. And this is another example, and this is another example, and I could show many images of dermal nevi with a melanoma developing at the periphery of the dermal nevus. Another example. And by the way, this is a case that I showed you also last week that we were speaking about regression. This was a very impressive regressive melanoma that metastasized. We spoke about it. And in fact, this was a nevus-associated melanoma because histologically, if you remember, there is the melanoma on the upper part, and on the lower part, right here, in fact, there is a nevus. But in my view, I mean, the melanocytes that transformed it into malignant were not these deep melanocytes that are in the nest of the nevus, but they were the junctional melanocytes that were above the nevus. So I don't know if the malignant transformation even ever exists at all, except, of course, of the case of congenital nevi, in which we know that it's nevus cells that undergo the malignant degeneration. And for this reason, in congenital nevi, the melanoma develops, in fact, inside the nevus, like the case on the upper row. You see that the melanoma, these gray polygons, the melanoma develops inside the nevus and not at the periphery, as happens with dermal nevi. Very good. So the next myth, but maybe we go first to Nisa and we see later on, if we have time also for this myth, would be that punch biopsies are dangerous, which is also very interesting.
Yeah.
But let's make a small break here to see, first of all, if we have any questions or new points.
Questions? There is an option that cutaneous melanoma metastasis still needs be excised with wide margin. This is despite having immunotherapy. Any comment of this on this issue?
In general, from an oncologic point of view, we always suggest that if the total volume of cancer we have is feasible to excise in a reasonable way, then let's do it. So if you have one metastatic deposit, or if you have 5 transit mets that you can easily excise, you excise. But definitely, there is no evidence at all that this improves the overall survival. Therefore, there is not a clear answer on this.
Yeah. And then Doriana is saying, short comment on this plastic nevi with high degree of dysplasia. I work in Sweden, and here these moles get registered in the cancer registry as melanoma. Why do you think so? To allow pathologists to be wrong in difficult cases? Well, I mean, because they follow nowadays the WHO classification, which is putting together in class 2, that WHO classification now has classified melanocytic tumors in 4 classes. Class 1, these are the normal nevi, common nevi. Class 2, they put together dysplastic nevi and melanoma in situ. Class 3, melanomas which are still thin, and class 4, melanomas which are thicker. So it means that nowadays, yes, this classification allowed pathologists to call this kind of class 2 lesions either nevi or melanoma. Who cares? While, I mean, of course, this is very dangerous. I mean, for many reasons, many, not only conceptual, but also practical. Is there any other?
There was a question about if the estimate for malignant transformation is different if we look only at this plastic nevi. That was done in that study by Hensing Chao. They did an effort to calculate the risk for this plastic nevi only. There was some difference, but does not change so the number was something, again, starting with 0, then 3 zeros, 4 zeros after the 0, and then a digit. So not essential difference in the theoretical risk.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Nisa, what do you prepared for us?
Maybe before Nisa, we have to show something. Yeah, wait a moment.
I love this. I have to get one of these new skin.
You like it, eh?
I like it.
Yeah, very nice.
You tried already?
No,
You
no,
tested already? No.
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 No. Me neither.
but looking forward.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Wonderful. Nisa, which myth are you going to dispel?
I'm gonna show. Where is my slides?
By the way, please continue to send your proposals for quotes. We have some nice suggestions, but we still have room for a few additional ones. Nisa, whenever you're ready, you can start.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go.
This is a patient, and there's a lentigo maligna for sure on the face. And when I want to take a biopsy from the lesion, the patient said that no, I don't let you because I went to a religious place called Dervish Lodge, and after that place, this spot appeared on my face, and this is a reward from God, and I don't let you to take a biopsy from this one. And I could hardly convince the patient for the biopsy, and it was for sure a lentigo maligna. And sometimes religious things always comes in front of our decisions, and this is a very hard situation for us in Turkey, in a Muslim country. I don't know how is it in Italy or Greece, but we could hardly convince the patient for the biopsy here. And another issue for acral melanomas, for sure, they generally believe that there is a trauma, maybe trauma induced. We don't know this. This is not clear yet for the acral side, but most commonly they tell us a story of trauma here. And this patient thought that this is something very simple. He didn't think that this is a dangerous thing because he went to seaside, and while walking on the sand, there's a tar staining the heel, and this was a spot after tar exposure. And whenever there was ulceration, he came to the hospital, and of course, it was a very terrible melanoma. And he was just thinking about it's a tar, it's a stain here for the acral side, and you see the dermatoscopy. And another, these patients also thought that these are stains. They don't believe that this is melanoma. These are melanoma. This is always a very big problem for acral site in Turkey, and I don't know how is it in Greece and Italy again. And this patient also doesn't want us to make a biopsy. Whenever there was a bad odor, and he came to the hospital, and we took a biopsy from the lesion, and it was melanoma for sure, and breast of thickness was 5 millimeter, and the patient didn't accept amputation here. And as Jeppy's case, it's very interesting. He's still living, and 6 years passed, and the patient is still living without any metastasis. But breast of thickness was here 5 millimeter.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And this is my last case. This is also very interesting because he is a very young guy. He is 32 years old. And he said that there was a nevus here and it was growing very slowly. And this nevus was congenital. And whenever I put the dermatoscope, I saw some signs of lentigo maligna here, and it was impossible for me to believe that this is a congenital nevus, or because there was some follicular obliteration, there was some circles. It didn't look like a nevus at all, and the duration was really very slowly because he said that the change started to appear at the age of 16, and almost 17 years passed, and it was a very slow lentigo maligna. Histopathology showed that this is still in situ, and it was really very interesting for me. And sometimes we really do not understand the biology of melanoma. And we know that lymphago maligna is extremely rare before the age of 20. So this was my last case.
Very good, very good.
Wonderful, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Cases, wonderful cases.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Giuseppe, do you want to tell us something or
Yes, I have to tell you something.
tell us something and then we see how we'll go on?
Yes. Give me just a second. Where is it? Just a moment.
Don't disturb the monster is the last
Don't
quote.
disturb the monster is nice, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very nice, but I don't know if this should be the conclusion from because we don't
This will
dare.
Monster.
Cheerful message.
We don't dare to say something like this. But go with your There is no sound, JP.
No sound?
Yeah. No. No sound.
No sound.
No sound.
Yes. Again, speaking about this beautiful INE Delta 30 Pro, which is already a standard of care. Good.
Wonderful, but maybe we will show the video with sound at some point. So what should we do? Should I say something more since it's 8:44 about the myth of partial biopsies, or
Tell us about.
Continue.
Yes, we have a little bit of time, but you know, let's say we are also looking forward to Penelope cases.
Of course.
Today, Konstantinos is not with us, so we have time. Don't you think so, JP?
Wonderful. Okay, so I would say this is an easy to answer myth. Punch biopsies are dangerous. The answer is no. I mean, they're not dangerous in terms of the risk of disseminating the melanoma because of the biopsy. Of course, let me skip this one. Of course, we don't advise punch biopsies for melanomas. For example, here nobody would think to perform a punch biopsy. We advise to excise the lesion, that's sure, but this is not because of the risk of dissemination. This is for another reason. It's clear in all guidelines that the recommended management is excision and not punch or shave biopsy when you have the suspicion of melanoma. The point is that, and of course, this is not only for clear-cut melanomas like the previous one, but also for a lesion like this, which is not so advanced as the previous one. It's not so ugly as the previous one. It's a reticular lesion. Therefore, maybe you have some diagnostic doubts. Still, punch biopsy is not recommended, even if one could think that the lesion is very large, so maybe better we do a punch first and we excise it later. The punch is not recommended, but not because of the risk of dissemination. There is a lot of evidence suggesting that there is no risk of dissemination if you do a punch biopsy. That's quite clear. There is no debate anymore on this. The reason why we suggest not to punch a lesion is because if you punch, then probably it would be extremely hard for the pathologist to give you an answer, especially in early lesions, especially in flat lesions that anyhow the histopathologic criteria are ambiguous. So these lesions are anyhow difficult, even if you provide the entire lesion to the pathologist. And they become much more difficult for the pathologist if you provide just a small sample. It's easy to understand. We can imagine how difficult it would be for us to examine with our dermatoscope, for example, only one part of the lesion. It would be impossible. We want to see the entire lesion because this allows us to assess the overall symmetry, and this is very, very important. This is equally important also for the pathologists. So that's the reason why punch biopsies are not recommended. The last thing I would like to say, I will skip a few slides, is that, however, we do perform in some scenario partial biopsies. And this is mainly located to the anatomic location. Let's see a few examples. This is one lesion located on the scalp. So what do you think it is?
SEPK?
Most probably seborrheic keratosis. Okay, so maybe if you are sure you don't do anything at all, okay, that's in fact okay.
Do a punch, it would be nice. Yeah.
Okay, look the next one, similar location. That's the clinical. This is dermoscopy. Don't you think it's suspicious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is suspicious. But what do you do as a next step from
Non-polarized.
Yeah, of course, polarized and non-polarized.
Yeah. No, but definitely here the idea to get first a punch in order to then to decide what kind of excision you have to make.
Exactly. Of course, here, when you do the punch, the only thing you wait from the pathologist is to confirm that this is in fact a melanocytic lesion, that there is a contiguous proliferation of melanocytes. Then you know 100% that this is lentigo-malignant. So scalp is an example of an anatomic location in which very often we do punch to confirm our diagnostic thought. And also this is facilitated by the fact that the differential diagnosis here is not from a nevus, but from seborrheic keratosis. Therefore, with a punch, we can have our answer. Another location in which, again, a similar example, another location in which it makes a lot of sense is the face, of course. You see this lesion, which is located on the cheek. It's dermatoscopically, it's not a clear-cut solar lendigo. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So therefore, what should we do? Go and excise.
You cannot make a flap of the entire cheek of this guy before knowing that this is a melanoma.
Exactly, because it could be a strange solar lendigo. By the way, in this example, it is a solar lendigo. So it would be a disaster to do a flap for a solar lendigo, obviously. So face is another example of a specific site that we do punch. And another example sometimes could be also acral. For example, look this strange pigmentation on the sole. Of course, the image is not very informative, but I mean, what should we do?
Yeah.
What should we do?
Again, punch.
Yeah, to make sure if this is maybe blood, I don't know, or if this is a melanocytic lesion. If it is a melanocytic lesion, it's a melanoma 100%. So let me stop here. I would say that this myth was easy to dispel. There is no problem with punch. However, we don't advise it for the reasons that we described, except of specific sites in which it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
The problem...
And there's also a myth about removing or shaving the hair on the nevus, isn't it? Some people ask, doctor, if we shave it off, isn't it dangerous from the mole?
Yes, they usually are scared to do it. Yeah. There are a few questions. What about so the problem with biopsy is to miss a melanoma and to be wrongly reassured. This is true. It can happen sometimes that you make a biopsy and then the diagnosis is non-melanoma, and then you are relaxed but wrongly. Yeah.
Exactly for this reason, we said many times, and we repeat it once again, it's a good idea to do a partial biopsy, mainly when the differential diagnosis is between melanoma and something non-melanocytic, like seborrheic keratosis. For this differential, you don't risk to miss anything, because if it's a seborrheic keratosis, you will get your answer for sure with a punch.
There is a question, what about punch excision? Of course, if the lesion is small enough to be excised with a punch, why not? That's definitely a good idea. And there is a question concerning the previous issue. Any margins are recommended to excise melanoma metastasis?
No.
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 You have to radically excise the metastasis, but no margins are recommended. Yeah.
Mhm.
There are some comments also about punch or incisional biopsy. Of course, yes, of course. We use punch because it's the easiest thing that everybody uses. There is also a comment by Melanie that she prefers to shave flat lesions on the face. Me too, fully agree with you. But again, punch is the one used more, at least in Europe.
The acral lesion was they asked for the diagnosis of the last acral.
No, it was blood.
This was not melanoma.
This was not melanoma. It was not melanoma. No.
Exactly. Yeah. And what else? Yeah, great. Wonderful.
Another myth. Okay. We spoke about it. Do you think that it's possible that a 1 millimeter dermoscopically atypical lesion, histologically low-grade dysplastic nevus, could be actually a very early melanoma? Of course. Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
Wonderful.
So,
wonderful.
we go on?
Yes.
Very well.
Let's go on.
Let's go on. Let's see the wonderful gifts that Penelope sent us for today, related as usually to the topic of the previous week, which was regression. We start with a gift for Nisa, 53-year-old woman. Sorry. Okay, 53, pigmented lesion noticed on the chest after shaving. This is dermoscopy. And what's the diagnosis?
Regressive melanoma.
Yeah.
Partially
Yeah.
partial regression.
Exactly. So for this blue-gray pigmented lesion, she thought regressive melanoma. The pathology didn't help me much, as it confirmed that it was indeed a regressive melanocytic lesion, HMB45 marking, but without being able to specify the more exact origin. Excision with 1 centimeter margin and close monitoring. Fully agree, Penelope. Very well done. I guess that most probably it was, in fact, as you said, an early regressive melanoma. Excellent. For Konstantinos, who is not here with us, unfortunately, today, 81-year-old woman again, blue lesion noticed on the lateral side of his, man, not woman, then his neck, yeah, that's the image. A lot of blue.
Yeah.
Some white clots.
It as a blue nevus. Yeah. Not so easy to classify it as a blue nevus.
Yeah. And what are those white clots? That's very strange. A lot of white clots.
Very, very strange. So this is not a lesion looking like a blue nevus. Yeah. This is much more strange. Of course, it could be a very, very peculiar blue nevus. By the way, it's a radiation tattoo.
Tattoo, okay. For cancer of the tongue. Okay.
Here is where history is significantly relevant.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm sure she did a biopsy here.
Yeah, but I don't know. For the philosopher, dear Jeppy, 64, woman, large pigmented lesion located on the arm, detected during skin check. Okay.
Melanoma with regression by definition.
And shiny white lines here and regression. Yeah, that must be a melanoma, obviously, and it is early melanoma, 0.2 perfect illustration of the regression structures. For me, I have a very nice case, 38-year-old man, pigmented lesion on his back present for 5 years, very blue, very blue, yeah.
There is a differential diagnosis with BCC.
Of course.
BCC, yeah, probably BCC.
Yeah, yeah. The point is that, of course, there are big clots, so BCC is very likely. What makes us not 100% sure is the quite homogeneous distribution of the blue color in the upper part,
Yes.
which is not so frequent in BCC, but it is, in fact, a pigmented BCC. Of course, there are some perfect blue ovoid nests, but there is also this big part, this big blue part. This might happen sometimes when the BCC is heavily pigmented, then the pigmentation becomes confluent and you see a lot of blue and not only clots. And for the nicest of the coordinators, dear Sebastiano, we have this 84-year-old man, large pigmented patch on his right outer canthus, and this is so nice, no? Don't you think so?
Lichenoid keratosis.
Yeah.
Lichenoid keratosis.
That's
Bravo.
for sure an LPLK with a diffuse colored blue, gray, I would say, not blue, gray granules distributed practically all over the lesion. So thank you very, very much, dear Penelope, once again.
Great cases, Penelope. Pascal.
Wonderful.
Of course. And now, since I have to do one thing for 30 seconds to start the Kahoo, maybe you want to say something in the meanwhile.
Yes, maybe I can try again to launch the video with the sound.
Maybe you can try.
Yes, of course.
No. Let me just, because I mean, I don't know where is. Sì, condividi suono.
Bravo.
Yes.
Bravo.
Much better.
It was better.
Much better. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Bravo.
Fantastic. So, there is a comment that the clocks were set back, so missed the first hour. Okay, then we continue for one more hour.
Something interesting. There is another myth that is, if hair grows in a melanocytic lesion, then the lesion is benign. Of course, this must be dispelled. Melanomas can be found with having hairy surface.
BCC also.
Yeah, this is not really an useful myth anymore.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so now time for Kahoot, which means that I have to share my screen again. Share sound. Okay.
Did you prepare a Kahoot with meats?
With what? With myths? No.
No. Okay. Well, I'm very curious to see who is the winner about the quote of today.
Oh, quote. No, I did not prepare it.
You forgot the quotes.
I forgot the quote. So this time we will do it in a different way. We will not do it democratically, but aristocratically, let's say. We will select the quote. Otherwise, we will not have a quote, and it's a pity. So,
Very good.
come
The
on.
dark side of the mole. I think
Yes.
it's the best.
Which
Yes.
one?
The dark side of the mole.
The dark side of the mole, not the monster.
Yeah.
But
You
you know
decide.
what? No. But we will do like this. For the next episode, we will ask Sebastiano to make a poll with all the quotes of today.
And we will do it in the beginning of the next episode.
Exactly.
Okay, Sebastiano, do you have it? You have it.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
The next episode, not now.
The
Yeah,
next
next
episode,
episode.
at the beginning of the next episode, next week. Yeah. Wonderful, fantastic. Okay, so that's the pin. Is it visible?
Maybe you can
Yeah.
enlarge the QR. Yeah, good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Very good. Now, let's see. By the way, we never understood why this is happening in the happy hour, that the players do not connect.
I suppose that your account has this kind of problem. I don't know why.
But yesterday we used my account and everything was fine.
It was fine yesterday. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Anyhow, it does not affect anything because anyhow everybody is connected.
Yeah.
So let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's start.
Go.
Day, episode 12, season 3 of the Dermoscopy Happy Hour. The first lesion is this one. Okay, that's the clinical. This is dermoscopy. Ready? Let's play.
Oh.
Let's play. Diagnosis. Do you think that this is a nevus, melanoma, BCC, or Kaposi sarcoma? I think we're gonna have approximately 60, 61, 62 correct answers.
Let's see. What? No, come on.
Ah.
Come on. This is
Guys, you know that this is real.
no. This is too much. Yeah. But since you are trying every time to do this
Once
it can happen, you know.
You're right.
Magnibus,
Magnibus.
I like it. Yeah.
AI, Taha, and MD. By the way, this was a nice BCC with white shiny lines, white shiny strands. Next one. Located on the foot, by the way. That's the clinical. This is dermoscopy. And let's play. Diagnosis. Do you think that this is a pyogenic granuloma, Kaposi sarcoma, melanoma, basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, or Merkel cell carcinoma?
Why didn't you also select Poroma?
Yeah, Poroma would be a good option here.
Very difficult. So we have 1 benign and 5 malignant options, and the benign is the winner one. Bravi, very good.
Great.
Pyogenic granuloma, fantastic. And of course, I can confirm that this is a pyogenic granuloma because we did a shave, as we always should do for pyogenic granulomas. Magnibus, Taha, and Evie lead. And this brings us to case number 3. Against very similar location. That's the clinical appearance. This is dermoscopy.
Okay.
And time to play. Do you think that this one is a pyogenic granuloma, Kaposi sarcoma, melanoma, basal cell, squamous cell, Merkel cell? And bravissimi, very good. Kaposi sarcoma, 64 correct answers. Excellent. In Kaposi sarcoma, you remember that we see very frequently white shiny strands, sometimes not only white, but also the additional colors, the polychromatic pattern.
Rainbow. Why don't you use
Rainbow. Okay, what happens here is that Taha goes in the first place, followed by Rats and Macnivus. We have two more lesions. That's the first one. On the face, on the chin, clinical, non-pigmented lesion again. Today, it's a day of non-pigmented lesions.
Oh, I like it.
This is dermoscopy. Although the images become a little bit blurred in Kahoot, I think that still it's visible
It's nice.
quite well.
Yeah.
Diagnosis. Nevus, basal cell, adnexal tumor, Kaposi sarcoma, since it's the tumor of the day.
Yeah. So,
Tumor of today.
if it's an adnexal tumor, we need to make a poll, to make a question
Which?
to our friends to say what it was.
But no, it was not an adnexal. It was a basal cell carcinoma. By the way, the
Micronodular.
it was a very recent case, and the lady was insisting a lot that this is there since as many years as she can remember.
They voted for trichoepithelioma.
Yeah. But we did not surrender. We did not believe to our ears, but our eyes, because here you can see something nice. Of course, the vessels, okay. But in addition to the vessels, you see the May globules.
Was that micronodular?
No, it was classic nodular.
Classic nodular.
Yeah, a nice example in my view of this multiple aggregated white yellow globules. Very good. What happens is that Taha remains in the first place, followed by Martmol and Ashley, Tony and Polarized Lady. Which brings us to the last one.
Kaposi sarcoma.
This image was taken with polarized light. True or false?
Yes.
False. Very good. This image was taken with non-polarized light. Very good. Now, before I show you the podium, I have two questions to ask you. First, are you sure that this is a seborrheic keratosis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any doubt?
100%.
100.
No doubt.
No doubt. Second question. Do you think that seborrheic keratosis are a marker of aging? So they develop in old people?
Well, yeah.
Most commonly.
Yes.
I'm asking you these two questions because this lesion that you saw there is this one. I don't know if you can see it.
You are still young. Don't worry.
No, I mean, you are becoming old. You are becoming an old guy.
I-
Sorry.
You are still young.
I don't know if you can see it or not in the camera, but yeah, the lesion is really here, somewhere here.
Becoming an old guy. I'm sorry.
So thank you, first of all for the live consultation. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be examined by 300 doctors. Yeah. Wonderful. Let's see the podium. Third place for today goes to Dermamith. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Second to Tony.
Tony.
First goes to Martmol.
Mole. Yeah.
Martmol. So we had the change of the last minute.
Change of the last minute. Incredible. Beautiful.
Martmol.
Where is Taha?
Yeah. I don't know if we have Martmol here with us or not. But anyhow, in the meanwhile, we have to say what do we have to say more? To thank you all for being with us after the Easter break. We will continue for another 3 consecutive episodes. Then we will do a second Easter break.
The Orthodox Easter break.
The Orthodox Easter break, which, by the way, this year is very late, so it will be hopefully a very nice weather then. Thank you. We thank you so much. Yeah, we found Marty Spit. She's the winner. I don't know if we can have her.
Okay.
Yes,
I
Marty.
know her. I know her. She's from Holland.
Hi, Marty.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Greetings
Hi.
from Holland. Hello.
Yeah.
A
Marty,
very nice episode. Thank you.
thank you. Do you agree that the last
Congratulations.
that the
Yeah,
last
thank you.
is a seborrheic keratosis? Do you agree?
The last one, yes.
Are you sure that this is a seborrheic keratosis?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think so.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Have a nice evening.
Congratulations.
Bene, ragazzi, it's been always, as usually, a pleasure. Un bacio grande a tutti. Ciao.
Bye bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye bye.